Hey there, it's Mr. Kingsbury, and these are the Unit 2.02 notes. These are your notes about long division of polynomials. We're going to spend a couple days on these, and I do believe that I'm going to post a few extra examples up there. There are about 10 examples on these notes. I am not going to get through all of them, so I will make sure to post completed versions of them up on Schoology for you. So let's talk about long division of polynomials. It looks very daunting to begin with because it's a little crazy. It's a little different than what you're used to, but I promise you that it follows the same pattern that division does. Now, in order to work polynomial long division, we have to remember a couple of exponent laws, and they are outlined up here for you at the top of your notes. What they essentially amount to is this. When you multiply two terms that have the same variable in them, the shortcut to doing this is you multiply the coefficients, c and d, and you add the exponents. And similarly, when you're dividing two terms, you subtract the exponents and you divide the coefficients. And I got a few examples here, so we won't do all of them, but we'll do a few. Like right here, lambda to the 4th times lambda to the 7th. Well, all you have to do is add 4 and 7. You get lambda to the 11th. No big deal. Some of these get a little more difficult, but no worries. How about this? Some more multiplication. 3x to the 10th times, this is technically 1x to the 1st. So we would multiply 3 and 1. Multiply those. So that would be 3 times 1, which is 3. And we'll put an x down here. And then you would add 10 and 1, which is 11. So you get 3x to the 11th. And we got something like this, negative 8x to the 5th divided by 2x to the 4th. So first we would divide negative 8 and 2. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And then for the x's, we would do subtraction. We would go 5 minus 4, which is negative 1. I'm sorry, it's just 1. Just 1, not negative 1. Sorry about that. Let's just do a couple more, I guess. I'm going to skip. Well, let's just do them all right? So number 4 here. We're multiplying. So 1/2 times 6 is 3. Half of 6 is 3. And then you would add 8 and 3, which gives you 11. So you get 3 beta to the 11th. Number 5. Z to the 25th divided by 3z to the 8th. This is actually 1z to the 25th. So you would divide 1 and 3. So 1 divided by 3, right? Divide these. 1 divided by 3. We'll just leave it as 1/3. It's more accurate. And then you would subtract the exponents. 25 minus 8 is 17. So we get 1/3 z to the 17th. Okay? I'm just going to skip a couple. I'm just giving you an idea, so like right here, k to the 8th divided by k to the 5th. We don't have to worry about the coefficients. We would subtract this. So you get k to the whatever 8 minus 5 is. I think 8 minus 5 is 3. We need to do that because that's going to be part of our process, which here's our process. We're going to do 5 things. We're going to divide, then we will multiply, then we will subtract, then we'll bring down, and then we will repeat all of these steps. So let me walk you through how to do a couple of these things. Also, just an advisory right here. If you have a missing term, you got to put a 0 in there, a 0 placeholder in there. Okay, so this example, we've got x to the 4th, x cubed, x, and negative 9. Well, it's missing an x squared. You got to have 4, 3, 2, 1, none. So we would put a 0x squared in there. I think that's something we should do every single time. I'm going to rewrite it every time to make sure I have them all in there, okay? So let me show you how to do this. And do not worry, we will practice in class. Let's start with number 1. There we go. So we have 2x squared minus 1x minus 3 divided by x plus 1. So I'm going to write that out here. 2x squared minus 1x minus 3 divided by x plus 1. So remember I said that the steps were divide, then multiply, then subtract, then bring down. So you take this first term here and you divide it by the first term here. So what's 2x squared divided by x? or if you will, 1x. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and x squared divided by x is x. That's step 1. Step 2, you multiply. Now this is where people make mistakes, so pay close attention. You have to multiply both of these by 2x. 2x times x is 2x squared. That's exactly what we wanted. We want these to be identical because the third step is subtract, and we want those to subtract out to a 0. You also need to multiply 2x and 1. There are 2 terms here. Both of them need to be multiplied by 2x. So 2x times 1 is 2x, and that goes over here. And then we will subtract. Now, I like to put my minuses next to each term so I remember to do the subtraction. Some people will just put them out here and they'll forget to subtract this second column. I find that if I put my minus out here where I can see it next to both terms, then I won't forget. Now, 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. So I'll just cross those off because they cancel. 1x minus 2x is negative 3x. And then I will bring down negative 3. And we start it all over again. So now we take this term and divide it by this. Negative 3x divided by x is negative 3. Step 2, we multiply. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And I will subtract both of these. Please note I have 2 negatives. 2 negatives make a positive. And that works out because negative 3x plus 3x is 0. That's what I want. And negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So I'm done. Pretty nice, let me tell you. Let's take a look at number 2. And I wanted to do number 2 for a couple reasons. One of which is it's a little bit longer. So we've got x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x plus 1. So let's write this out. X cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1. And we will divide it by x plus 1. Boom. So let's follow the process, right? Step 1, we divide the first term, x cubed, by the first term here. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Then we multiply. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 1 is x squared. Then we subtract. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. Look at this. X squared minus x squared is also 0. Interesting. So if we bring down the x, that's all well and good, but it's not 2 terms, and I need a 2-termed polynomial to divide this 2-termed polynomial into. There's however many terms there are here, there's got to be here. So I'm going to bring down the 1. So we got x plus 1. And I'm hoping this is obvious. X divided by x is 1. 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1. Subtract, subtract. And those all work out really nice. That worked out a lot easier than I thought. It's kind of nice, actually, truthfully. Okay. So let's jump down to number 4. Number 4 we got, let's see here, 3x squared minus 11x minus 2 divided by 3x plus 4. And I went down to this one because I wanted to divide by something that had a coefficient in front of the x. So 3x squared minus 11x minus 2 divided by 2x minus 5. Uh-oh. Just kidding, 3x plus 4. I looked at the wrong thing. 3x plus, my bad, 4. That's very confusing. I looked at the wrong thing. My apologies. So, step 1, divide. 3x squared divided by 3x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. Step 2, we multiply. 1x times 3x. 1 times 3 is 3. X times x is x squared. Don't forget to do the other thing. 1x times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. And x times no other x's is just x. Then we subtract. These cancel. Negative 11x minus 4x is negative 15x. And then we bring down negative 2. And we start the process all over. Negative 15x divided by 3x. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. X divided by x leaves us with no x's. So we don't need to put any x's up here. Step 2, multiply. Negative 5 times 3x is negative 15x. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. And we subtract here and here. 2 negatives make a positive. Negative 15x plus 15x is 0. Now look at this. Negative 2 plus 20 is 18. Uh-oh. I don't have anything else to bring down. Now, if this was a numeric division problem, we would start putting zeros on there and create a decimal. But we can't do that with polynomials. So instead, once we get to this point, if there is a remainder, we're going to do a cool little trick where we're going to make a fraction. So I'm going to put a plus on here, and I'm going to make a fraction on the end. The remainder, 18, goes in the top in the numerator. And what we're dividing by, 3x plus 4, that goes underneath. So my answer will be 1x minus 5 plus 18 over 3x plus 4. And that's how we're going to handle problems like that, where we have a remainder, but we don't have, or it doesn't divide evenly. So we have that remainder, okay? I want to do one more for you, and then I'll call it a day. I'm going to do number 5. And like I said, I will post something that has all of the problems worked out for you. So here's number 5. It is 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x divided by x minus 8. Now, I mentioned that when you're doing this, when you're dividing, both things must have all of the terms. And what I mean by that is, whatever the biggest exponent is in the polynomial, you must have a term that has x raised to that exponent and then everything underneath that all the way down until there isn't an x. So right here we've got 4x cubed. That means I need a term with an x cubed, an x squared, just an x, and a constant. Well, I got my x cubed, I got my x. I don't have the constant though. So I'm going to rewrite this. Got my x cubed, got my x squared, got my x, and I'm going to go ahead and put plus 0 in there, just as a placeholder. This other one looks fine. I got x and I got a constant. So let's divide. Now that I have adjusted to make sure that all of my place values are full, if you will, let's go ahead and divide this bad boy. Let's see, x minus 8. All right, step 1, we divide 4x cubed by x, by 1x. 4 divided by 1 is 4. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Then we multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. X squared times x is x cubed. Perfect. It comes out the same. Don't forget we have to multiply negative 8 by 4x squared. 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. X squared times no other x's stays x squared. Then we will subtract and subtract. 2 negatives make a positive here. 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is 0. Negative 5x cubed plus 32x squared. I'm sorry. Negative 5x squared plus 32x squared should give me 27x squared. And then we'll bring down the 3x. And we start it all over again. So 27x squared divided by 1x. 27 divided by 1 is 27. X squared divided by x is x. That's the division. Now for the multiplication. 27 times 1 is 27. X times x is x squared. Now for the fun part. 27 times 8, that's a lot. 216, I think, and it's negative 216 x. That's huge. Subtract, subtract, that cancels. 3 x's plus 216 x's is 219 x's. That's a lot. And we'll bring down the 0. This is our last one. So 219x divided by 1x. Well, that would be 219 divided by 1 is 219. And x divided by x is nothing. Then we multiply. 219 times 1x is 219x. 219 times 8, this is going to be huge, is a huge number. 72, 8, and 7 is 15. Carry the 1, 16, 17. 1752. And don't forget it's negative. And then we subtract. So 219x minus 219x is 0. 0 plus 1752 is 1752. So we have a remainder, which means we will go plus, and we will make a fraction. And we put 1752 on the top, and x minus 8 on the bottom. Holy guacamole. That was awesome. Well, I appreciate you for paying attention. Again, I'll put the other ones up so you can see all of them, and have a great day.